Hey, Motorman here, and I'm at Gator Harley-Davidson. I'm going to be taking the brand new Sportster S for a ride. And here it is. This is the Sportster S. MSRP $14,999. You can get it in burgundy or white also. Black looks very good. In fact, the black looks better in person than it does in pictures. White looks great in pictures. The burgundy color and the white is $350 option. And I love the looks of this motorcycle. I've heard people say they don't like that big front tire, but I think it looks pretty cool. I like the fat front tire on this bike. Also the exhaust, which to me on the street bob doesn't look very good, but it fits this motorcycle. 1250cc motor. That's the Revolution Max motor, similar to the motor they put in the Pan America. Puts out 121 horsepower. And the bike weighs only 500 pounds, so 21 horsepower, or 120 horsepower, 121 horsepower. The bike was redlined at 8,000 RPM, so it's meant to rev. This, of course, other than the name, has nothing to do with prior Sportsters. I'm not sure what you would classify this bike. I would say something between a power cruiser and a sport bike. It's got a 34-degree lean angle, which is more in the cruiser range, the top of the cruiser range. It does have all the latest tech: Bluetooth, maps, navigation, cornering, ABS, customizable ride modes, LED lights, adjustable suspension, cruise control, and this is a 30-degree rake, 59.8-inch wheelbase. Again, not quite up to your normal sport bike specs, but excellent for a cruiser type motorcycle or a sporty cruiser. These come with what they call forward controls, but I've sat on the bike and they really don't feel too far forward to me, but you can also get mid controls as an option. Belt drive, of course. So let's take it for a ride. Well, upon sitting on the bike, it's got a 29.8-inch seat height, but I'm 5'7", 29-inch inseam. I do identify as 6'2", but even at 5'7", I'm perfectly flat-footed. Let's start her up, see what happens. We're in ride mode A. I'm not sure what that means. And we got B. And there's a rain cloud, so I would guess that would be rain mode. Let's see if I can feel any difference in the throttle response. Now there's a picture of a road there, so I would guess that would be maybe touring mode or road mode. Throttle is a little bit more sensitive. And let's go to S, which has got to be sport. I figured that out, folks. Not much difference in the from sport to road mode. We have these controls here. Oh, by the way, I've got the half glove so I could use the camera. There's little tiny buttons on this GoPro camera, but also I wear these half gloves because it really pisses off the motorcycle safety PC police on YouTube. This might be for Bluetooth, navigation, And we have turn signals more like the Japanese or European bikes. You push it one way or the other. Push it straight in to stop it. And they are automatic or automatic canceling turn signals. Adjustable clutch levers and brake lever. That's a new thing for Harley. I see we've got an empty parking lot over here. So let's play around with the maneuverability a little bit, shall we? Pretty good. Steer's rather easy. I'm betting this will do under 18 foot. I don't want to push it because I'm not familiar with the bike. But I didn't run out of lock or scrape the pegs, which I'm not going to do because it's a brand new motorcycle. But as far as maneuverability, seems pretty good, especially if you consider for a sport type motorcycle. A lot of sport bikes don't have very much lock, or you can't turn the bars very much before they run out of lock, and you have to depend strictly on the lean angle. Doesn't appear that way on this motorcycle. Good thing about Gator Harley-Davidson is there's some nice roads right around the dealership to take a test ride on. Just goosed a little bit, and it is a fast motorcycle. Ride is on the firm side, as it should be with a sport type motorcycle. Plenty of torque. I'm in third gear now. 28 miles an hour. Picks right up with no lugging. Get up into fourth. Again, no lugging. Picks right up. Clutch action is very smooth, very easy pull. Let's see. Wow, Harley-Davidson that found neutral very easily. Squirrel was trying to commit suicide then, thought better of it. As far as the riding position, I like it. I'm not bent over too far. The supposed forward controls aren't very forward. They're in a perfect position for me. In fact, if you put mid controls, I think my knees would be too far up. It'd be a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, I'd stick with these stock forward controls. I mean, you could lift up or put your weight on them and lift your butt up a bit, no problem. Mirrors are a little bit different, but they serve their purpose. I can see perfectly behind me. Former mayor of Leesburg. turn in real nice. Oh yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this motorcycle. You know, you're talking 500 pounds and 120 horsepower. Now I'm noticing the throttle is a bit abrupt in sport mode, so let's change that to, let's try B mode. I think that's road mode. 15 miles an hour. Powerful brakes. It's like they're doing some work on this road, so there's these ridges in it. Yes, in B mode, the throttle is not as abrupt. Now, of course, the motor doesn't sound anything like your typical Harley-Davidson. It's totally different. It's a water-cooled motor. Excellent feel. You know exactly what that front tire is doing. As far as the seat, it's rather thin, and you know, for this, to take an honest review of the seat, I think you got to be on the bike at least an hour. But right now it feels fine. Support's okay. It's firm, which is as it should be. Gonna go hard on the brakes. Excellent feel to those brakes. And like I've said, the only thing about this Sportster S that's similar to the Sportster they've been selling since, well, I think 1959 is the name. Other than that, this is a completely, totally modern motorcycle. I would call this a standard, not so much a sport bike, because of the 34-degree lean angle. Most sport bikes are 45-degree lean angle, and then you run out of traction rather than scraping the pegs. But yeah, you will scrape the pegs on this motorcycle if you get very aggressive with the 34-degree lean angle. But as far as standards go, it's right in the ballpark. Triumph Bonneville Bobber, probably the Indian Scout motorcycles as well. I'm gonna do my braking before the turn. Keep a little front brake on. You have that front tire to the pavement. That's called trail braking, if you didn't know. I'll do the same thing here. Slow down a bit. Just a touch front brake. Hardly any really at all. Roll on the throttle. Well, they already have a windscreen available for this bike from Harley, but I'm sure there are many aftermarket ones that would fit as well. National Cycle has several types, as does Memphis Shades. So if you wanted something bigger or or smaller, whatever. You can get them. They just mount onto your handlebars here. Not sure what's down this road, but we're going to give it a try. You may be getting some wind noise, but that's because there's no windshield on this bike. Nothing I can do about that. Acceleration is just terrific. The shade feels great because even though it's September or October now, today is hot and humid. Still, we're still in summertime in Florida. We had a couple of days of low humidity, but that's gone now. Should be back in a week or so. We're just getting into our riding season here in Florida, and I know most of you up north it's just the opposite, but best time to ride in Florida is from October to about May. Summertime is brutally hot. As I said, right here in Leesburg, this whole area is about the best riding in Florida as far as hills and some winding roads. It's from North Pasco County to Hernando County area and north. Riding's not bad at all. So once again, I'd classify this motorcycle as a standard, sporting standard, not so much a cruiser. Though you could call it that if you wanted. Call it anything you want. Because of the fact that this has got 121 horsepower, I wouldn't consider this a beginner bike, or you know, if your wife or your girlfriend or even you are on a Sportster 1200 and are thinking, well, I want something a little bigger. This isn't any bigger. In fact, it weighs less, but it's got almost twice the horsepower. So you should be cognizant of that fact. You don't want to get into something that's got too much power for a newer rider, a rider not familiar with the proper techniques. And of course, those techniques are head and eye is the most important of the three techniques. Look where you want to put that motorcycle. Never look at the thing you don't want to hit. The faster and further you turn your head and eyes, the tighter the turn you're going to make. And of course, for low speeds, proper use of the friction zone. If you haven't mastered that yet, stay away from a bike like this. And when I say master that, I don't mean that you could just take off from a stop without stalling. I mean that you could actually use that friction zone to maneuver at low speeds, along with just a little bit of pressure on the rear brake to help stabilize the bike at low speeds. Those are the three techniques that motor officers use and that I've been teaching for like 22, 23 years. Regardless of what kind of motorcycle you have, you should know those techniques. You should master them. It would make riding so much easier for you, so much safer. And then you could ride any size motorcycle. The weight won't matter a bit. This bike feels really very light, easy to handle. I'd love to take a bike like this up to someplace like the Dragon, or really any of the roads up there in North Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee area. You could really have some fun with this bike. Very light clutch. It takes virtually no pressure at all to pull that clutch in. Now the question is probably going to come up, is this bike worth over $15,000? That's going to be completely up to you. I don't think it's priced high as compared to other motorcycles with this type of performance. I would imagine too, the first thing people would change on this bike is the exhaust. You could barely hear the exhaust. What you hear, and probably on the video as well, is just the motor. So if you got the money and you're in the market for a sporting standard, you got to check this bike out. Right now they are in short supply. In fact, all motorcycles are in short supply right now, so I wouldn't be expecting big discounts. I did notice that on Harley's website it does not list a surcharge for this bike, which I guess that means because it's brand new, they've already included the surcharge in the price of the motorcycle. If you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I've got over 1,250 videos on YouTube. You could binge watch them for days on end. Thanks for watching.